Good morning to everyone. Welcome to a new edition of Smart Talks by Mespack. This time it's a pleasure for us to present this webinar by the hand of Amcor, one of our stellar partners. I am Mónica Cuatracasas, Communication Manager at Mespack. Nice to greet you. And today we are delighted to have you join us for this session entitled Think Big, Stand Tall, the 2-liter recycle ready stand-up pouch, where we will discover the innovative, recyclable, durable, drop-resistant, and leak-proof packaging solution for home care industry. The webinar will schedule to last approximately in 45 minutes, and it will be presented by our experts, Geoffrey Gendevine, Marketing Manager, Home and Personal Care at Amcor, and Guillem Lloret, Innovation Director at Mespack. And following the presentation, we will allocate about 10 minutes for questions and answers. So please feel free to submit your questions during the session through the question and answer section below. This session will be recorded and shared with those who have registered later. Okay. So now let me introduce Geoffrey, the marketing manager at Amcor. Geoffrey is a marketing manager for home and personal care at Amcor with over 20 years of experience in operations, sales, and strategic marketing within composites, polymers, and packaging industries. He holds a master's degrees in engineering from the University of Liège and a management certificate from the University of Toronto. Geoffrey leads innovation projects, aligning internal resources to deliver sustainable packaging solutions. Good morning, Geoffrey. Glad you are here with us today. How is it going?
Good morning, Monica. Thanks for the introduction. Glad to be here. Looking forward to a good hour of exchange with the audience. Thank you.
Sure. Okay, and now I would like to introduce as well Guillem Lloret, the Innovation Director at Mespack. With more than 10 years in Mespack, Guillem is a person who leads the innovation team, one of the fundamental pillars in the company. In 2024, he was promoted to Innovation Director, becoming part of the company's executive committee. This promotion reflects the strategic importance of the innovation department. Senior electronic automation engineer with extensive experience in the packaging world, Guillem works closely with partners and customers, testing new solutions in Mespack Innovation Center. Good morning, Guillem. How are you today?
Hello, Monica. All good. Pleasure to be here with our friends of Amcor and to share some time and I hope some good insights with all our audience.
Sure, thank you, Guillem. Okay, thank you both for your contributions to this session that we will see here today. And with nothing further to add, let's proceed with the presentation. And today we are going to cover various topics about the 2-liter recyclable ready stand-up pouch in collaboration with Amcor. But first, let me introduce you a quick Mespack overview. Mespack, headquartered in Barcelona, is a global leader in flexible packaging and equipment for consumer packaged goods. And we are recognized for our innovation in creating sustainable packaging solutions. Since 2015, Mespack has been a proud member of Duraban company. Established in 1994 as horizontal form film and seal manufacturer, Mespack has grown into a global one-stop shop offering extensive services. With sales team in over 90 countries and regional service centers providing prompt access to parts, we boast in the industry largest product portfolio. Our 380 employees operate across 17,700 square meters of facilities with production centers located in Spain, the US, and India. So here you can see our largest portfolio. At Mespack, our talented engineering team designs customized integrated solutions for primary, secondary packaging, and end-of-line processes. With this extensive portfolio, we offer high precision, efficient, and versatile horizontal form film and seal machines for flexible packaging, including machinery for pre-made pouches as well, with wide range of as well well vertical form film and seal equipment. Additionally, we provide hydroforma machines for water-soluble pods and end-of-line equipment to fit your secondary packaging needs, offering turnkey solutions if it's required. Okay, so this concludes the introduction to Mespac, giving you the chance to learn more about who we are. And now, Geoffrey, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, Monica. Good morning, everyone. Good morning again, or good afternoon. I've noticed we have participants from around the globe, so quite exciting to be with you today. Indeed, before we go into it, one slide on Amcor. We're probably the global leader in flexible packaging around the globe. Amcor makes both flexible and rigid packaging, flexible in Europe. I'm one of 41,000 colleagues. We've been selling for $13.6 billion of packaging last fiscal year. We're scattered around over 200 locations in the globe. And one thing which leads us to why I'm here today is back in 2018, Amcor pledged to develop all its packaging to be recyclable and to eventually contain post-consumer recycled material in it. We are to achieve that. We're investing every year $100 million in R&D work. And thanks to that work, we're able to be here today and to be talking with our friends and partners of Mespac of our new innovation here. So going into why we are here today. So the consumers, when they think about packaging, they start to think about a lot of other things. They are now aware of the CO2 impact on global warming. They're also more and more educated about closing the loop and recycled content. So the consumers now think more about what do they do, how do they manage their packaging. They're more educated on the footprint, environmental footprint of their packaging. So they're asking the industry to do changes. The other thing they are very well educated on, unfortunately, is the inflation and the cost of packaging. So they also see a change in their habits when they buy a product, considering both more the sustainable aspect, but also the cost aspect of the packaging. So the consumer is one of the reasons we're here. Another reason is definitely the brands. The brands have all or most of the brands, when they consider their packaging, they've set objectives for themselves to reduce the amount of plastic packaging they're using, to increase PCR content in the packaging, and to have the packaging recyclable, reusable, compostable. We're going to talk about the 2-liter spouted pouch here. The way we consider that new solution is that we think it's very well tailored to home care application, detergent to clean your floor, laundry detergent, typically in bigger format. We also see some professional personal care use, juices, culinary uses, but most of the focus has been on home care. That's why I've looked at 4 of the leaders in home care to understand what they're reporting, what they are targeting in terms of packaging. So the brands are aligned on their objectives. We're bringing more data and science into it. So the SBTI initiative is helping measure the CO2 and global warming impact of the different brands and products. And then we have a bit of peer pressure, which is always positive, through the Ellen MacArthur Foundation to actually drive improvement year on year. So there is that environment of why we need to act from the brand side as well. And then if I move to the third pillar of the why is the legislator. Always a bit lagging, but the legislator is put in place the packaging and packaging waste regulation. last calendar year, which will mandate by 2030 that the packaging we put on the street or on the aisles of the shops needs to be recyclable, needs to include PCR content in the packaging, and to help incentivize, I would say, the industry to evolve, there are now movement on the extended producer responsibility fees. So the EPR fees will be modulated to reward good behavior, to reward recyclable packaging or lower CO2 emitting packaging. So we see with PPWR, EPR fees are already starting to be modulated in some countries. And I'll come to that a bit later as well when we go into the details of our pouch. But legislation mandates recyclability, mandates PCR content, and incentivize through EPR fees. There are still a few gray area in the regulations, so we're working part of different associations to help clarify the secondary legislation, working with partners in the value chain to clarify the details behind, but I think the guidance is very clear. And the final why is why a 2-liter pouch, right? So we know sustainability is top of mind for consumers. The brands are clear on their objective with regards to packaging. There is a EU legal environment in place now. And at the end of the day, the consumer, to close that loop, is expecting improvement as well. So we see that half of the consumers in Europe are concerned about global warming. A third of them say that they would change their purchase decision if a packaging would contain recycled material. Those 2 data points are coming from an Amcor Market Insight survey that we did in 2022. A new version will be issued soon. We've run that again in 2024. The data is aligned still. And the other 2 data points are coming from Mintel. We work a lot with Mintel, stating that 2/3 of the consumers are interested in portable format for laundry, and 70% of consumers love a refill. And what I like in that one is that, okay, not only is it a refill, but they also are looking at cheaper refill solution to save money. So they often associate the refill solution to be cheaper to help them take the right decision for their wallet and for the planet. So this is the why we're here. How have we worked together with Mespack? We've decided, looking at the market, interviewing brands, doing some store checks, we understood that in the larger capacity, so 2-liter, there was room to improve. So we've launched with Mespack, and I was here with Guillaume almost 3 years ago now, the 1/2 liter pouch that was tailored for more probably the personal care environment. And when we look at what is needed now in the market, we understood that we need a bigger pouch to also target home care and other segments. So what we've looked at is, okay, to get there, 2-liter, what are the challenges? We identified 3 main challenges: the mechanical performances of the pouch. So the pouch need to be sealed, not leaking on shelves. If the pouch would fall on the floor, we don't want it to explode either. And that's a challenge for flexible packaging. So that was one of the challenge. The second one is the aesthetic of the pouch. So we want to attract the consumer when they walk down the aisle, having something which looks good on shelves and catch their eyes. And also when it's half empty, if they use it for 2-to-1 refill, that the pouch still looks good at home. And then finally, indeed, how do we actually make it? FFS machines have been around for many years, focused on mixed material, So being able to run monomaterial at good efficiencies on FFS line was another challenge we identified and we tackled with Mespack. I'll share on the kind of Amcor typical way to address this, and then I'll hand it back over to Guillaume so he can share about the Mespack way to address the solution, how it worked well partnering together. So at Amcor, we see a clear market trend of plastic reduction in packaging. And that is most visible when we have brands talking to us about moving from rigid bottles to flexible pouches. You can save up to 80% of plastic material by moving to a flexible option. The flexible option will help you then reduce plastic, and we always want it to be recycle ready. We talked about PPWR. Any new development needs to be recyclable these days, so that would be our first step. And then to really push it to the maximum is then we can add post-consumer recycled content in the packaging. You've seen on the PPWR slide, it was a bit quick, PCR will be mandated, different levels of PCR depending on the application. If we talk home care, it's a 35% PCR content is needed. So that would be our next step, to have PCR content in the pouches that can allow to save up to 75% in CO2 emission for the packaging, and can save with the modulated EPR fees and plastic tax up to 80% on those as you move to PCR containing flexible packaging. Then how do we do that? 5-step, we've implemented that already once with Mespack a few years ago on the half a liter. So we're taking the same approach because it's working well. It's proven to be effective on the market. So the first step would be that Amcor would talk with the brand owner about the packaging needs, the barrier, the mechanical performance of the pouch, the product to be inside, and we can tailor our films to the need of the specific brand and product. We're indeed integrated to the sealant film, so we extrude and make our own sealant film, and we've invested to also make the oriented film on which we can print. So we can, talking with the brand, define the films we need. We move then in step 2 to making a laminate out of it, printed laminate. They're the good thing because you always want to keep in mind the target, or one of the target, which is CO2 reduction. So we're using our life cycle analysis tool, the asset tool. It is approved by the Carbon Trust. So we can compare the existing solution to the new proposal and make sure that the CO2 impact will be reduced in the new proposal. And once we have that, that printed laminate ready, then we hand it over to Guillaume and the Mespack team to run on the line. And here, good transition. Welcome, Guillaume. I'll let you take us through the next few slides.
Thanks, Geoffrey. Very interesting and educating always, your insights. So yeah, once we have a film prepared that Amcor will be delivering to us, then the next step obviously is how we machine it. So what we do is propose all those sets of technologies that will make that a success. So we are very used to working a way of a very empiric way of trialing that. And once we have a very well-defined set, then what we do is propose the machine that could work with that, or the retrofit which could make that work. We are not just stepping there on step 3, but we always like to take one step further, which is step 4 is, okay, we make it work, but how we can optimize, how we can reduce waste levels, how can we increase ROE. And that's one of our big concerns, because at the end of the day, we want to serve our customers. We want them to be happy with the combination of film and machine. So we want to drive all these innovations that we are developing also on our customer sites, so they can also boost and enhance their productivity. And the last step is step 5. Basically, you get your final product going out of your machine with the success criteria that you will establish, that it will be pouches that are good, pouches that can pass all your quality tests, and pouches that can go on the market and have a huge impact. Then, as I mentioned, we like to work in a very empiric way. This means that we like to try things beforehand. We don't want to sell smoke. So what we want to do is base all we say on facts. And how we do that? On our innovation center, we have a pilot line. That pilot line is 100% dedicated to make trials with our partners, like Amcor, obviously, and also with our customers. Our way of working is that we put the certain film with a combination that it would be needed, in this case with a corner spout, and we adjust and we refine till we get the best performance possible. This gives us a very, let's say, good assurance on that how this will work afterwards on the market. Talking more specifically of our capabilities, which machine we have for that. Basically, it's a simplex machine, but it's a big machine because it's up to 260 millimeters width format, and it's equipped with a little bit of everything. So it can do corner spout, top spout, zipper, liquid fill, powder fill. So it has all the bits and pieces of the new technology that we develop, and we also use it as a workbench for all the new things that we develop and that we want to try. So, sorry, one further. So basically, we think that this service, this machine, what it does is bringing a very, very big advantage for our customers, because what we do is basically remove the uncertainty on the products. We remove that you will get a new machine and you are uncertain if that machine with that film will work or not. So we know it will work because we have tested it and we can back it up with trials, okay? Also, it gives us the opportunity to invite customers here and test everything in a very controlled environment. We have a technician doing all those tests, so he has plenty of knowledge. He knows how to tweak the machine to make this work. He gives all his insights, and it's really a very interesting know-how and very interesting knowledge that we can get from there. Also, it's in a different building from our production facility. So this means that our customers are very calm. It's like they have one room just for them with the machine. So it's very comfortable. Everything we do, we back it up with procedures. We have a very well-defined procedure with different quality tests that are also made inside the small procedures. So we know that all the results that we give, they are reliable and they are accurate. Then we back all that up in a report that we can produce and give at the very end. This gives us a lot of know-how. And as I mentioned, our technician has a lot of know-how, but also our engineers. So when we are faced with a new development, we are much faster on giving solutions. Then basically, if we look at which are the advantages for our customers, it's not just that they have this facility that they can do this test here. It's also that if they would will to do it on their own line, this means that the line should be stopped, and this basically gives downtime. It's money that they are losing, and if they do it here, it's much more affordable. It's not interfering with their production plans, and they don't need to put resources on that. Also, as we are testing so many films every day, every week, we get a very rich database on all the films that we have tested. And this is very good because the time that it takes to adjust a new film every time is slower. And we are very quick on determining if the film works or it does not work. And as I mentioned, finally, what we do is we give a report, and this report contains all the findings, all the results from the quality test, the best set of parameters that we could use, and also all the technologies that are required to make that film work. Our way of working is that we start with the most basic configuration, let's say like a traditional machine would work. And from that, we start adding up, and we just add the minimum possible to make that work. So we are not trying to oversell all our technology. We will just provide the set that you need. As I mentioned, it's just a number. We are doing many tests. Here it says 210 different applications. I would say we are far, far down the road. I would say we are more on the 400 rather than 220. But it's not the number. It's not important. What is important is that we have this capability that it gives plenty of success and plenty of assurance to our customers. And at the end of the day, what we want is to be reliable and that they can trust on everything that we are giving. So now we will do something different. We will shake a little bit the way that we do things. So today we are presenting something new. We will make kind of a questionnaire to the audience and let's see what's going on.
Yes, indeed. Thanks, Guillaume. I'll take us through the questions. So thanks for the presentation so far. Indeed, lots of expertise at Mespack. And question for the audience, you will receive a poll in a minute. What do you think are the main challenges of using sustainable material in flexible packaging machines? Is it inconsistent sealing performances, temperature sensitivity during sealing, difficulty in maintaining high-speed production, challenges in achieving optimal barrier properties, frequent adjustments required for material handling, or all of the above? So you have the poll. Go ahead. Take a minute. Think about it. Put your vote in, and Guillaume will take us through the feedback and show us how Mespack can mitigate any risks.
That's interesting how people is voting. And now in a few seconds, we will finalize it and we will see the results. Okay, I think that everybody has voted. Okay, and we will see the results now.
Oh, I see that we have a very active audience, that they know what they are talking about. So yeah, each of these points that are written here are struggles that we find while we are adjusting, while we are trying new laminate structures. If I would pick, I would pick all the above, because really each one of them brings a little bit of difficulty, but luckily we have the know-how and we have the technology to overcome that. We will start with the first 2 points, which is related to sealing. Basically, that's true. The new materials are more sensible, more sensitive to temperature. So we need to take a good care of them. We need to treat them better. So definitely temperature is a thing that you need to take a look at. High-speed production is also related to that. We cannot go as high in temperature, so we need to be much more reliable on how we transfer this temperature, how we pull this film, so we are not over. It's this combination that makes success. Also, the barrier properties. We know that at some point, if we are not treating film properly, we are overstretching it, we can break the barrier. So we need to, as I mentioned, treat it with very good care. And the last one, it's also true. It's frequent adjustments required for material handling. It's true that if you overstretch, if you overheat, for example, the eye mark can be inconsistent due to this temperature. There are solutions for that. There are solutions to keep everything in line. So at the end of the day, the good news is that what we are doing today is we are keeping the same production speeds that we were having with, let's say, the old non-recyclable laminates. We can keep exactly the same with these new structures. And to elaborate a bit more on that, I will be explaining you about, I don't know if I lost control. Sorry. It's okay. I will explain you about the machine that we think would better work with such a format. When we are talking about a 2-liter pouch, we are talking about a big format. So we need a big machine to do that in a productive way. The machine that we are using it for that is the 570. Is one of the biggest machines that we have. It can produce pouches of a little bit less than 2 liters, so 190 to with at 180 ppms, so it's a fast production. We would be talking about 1.5 liters, but if we need to really go up to 2 liters or more, then we can work duplex. That would be at 120 with up to 285 millimeters. So that's a big machine. Okay. This machine by itself does not make the deal, but it does when we add all the sets of technologies that we have developed specifically for that. So the way that we are organized internally is that we have created different retrofit kits that can be applied to existing machines and to new machines. Definitely for existing machines, we need to make deep understanding and deeper study to see how feasible it is to fit it. But from our experience, we see that in the range of 95% of machines can be retrofitted and can be used and reused with sustainable materials. So from these different retrofits, there is one that it's called Essential. That's the set of technologies that we have identified that are a must to work with sustainable materials. The first and most important is the Elmedur sealing bars. Before, when we made the question, one of the answers was regarding temperature. So the Elmedur sealing bars, what they do is they have much more accurate control, because the temperature dispersion we have on the surface is brought back to plus minus 3 degrees Celsius. That helps us a lot on being more precise and on being able to transfer all this energy, all this sealing temperature faster on the sealing surface and on the film. We also have other technologies like the bottom perforator. That's a very easy one, but very effective at the same time. Basically, it's just changing the bottom perforator for the dye pack for a longer stroke cylinder. As the film tends to be more flexible, we need to go a little bit down so we can cut it. So we are adding a little bit more travel to it. And the third one is the double bottom sealing. The most critical point of, let's say, the structure and making a dye pack, it's the triple point. So we need to enforce that triple point, because otherwise it's not, we do not have a tight pouch. If you know, the triple point is right, the line where we change from 4 plies of film to 2 plies of film, that creates a micro channel that before we were putting, let's say, 200 degrees Celsius, we were melting the inner layer and it was fulfilling all that, but now we cannot do it. So we need to find strategies to maintain this melting of the inner polymer so we can fulfill that cavity. We do it with this double bottom sealing system. Then we have other retrofit kits, and I have selected, just for not explaining here hours and hours regarding all our technology, the most important ones regarding this project. The first one is the pneumatic brake. This one is a very long machine, and we won't need to create as less waste as possible, because at the end of the day, that impacts the OE, that impacts the performance of our customers. So this is a very, let's say, smart application where what we do is, once the machine is stopped, we keep the film like pre-stretched, so all the temperature emitted from the sealing jaws to the film do not shrink it. So once we restart the machine, we do not have to throw all those pouches that are in front of the sealing jaws and that are affected by temperature. Then more specific things that in this case are for large machines would be the film follower. The film follower is like a kind of a clamp that holds the tip of the film before we cut it. As this film tends to be more flexible, it falls down if we are talking about a 570 machine, that it's a very long machine. So with this, we can keep it steady. So when we cut with the scissor, it's completely squared. And the second one is the additional pulling station. This pulling station, it's placed between the unwinder and the beginning of the forming section. And what it does basically is make the pass through the forming plow in continuous motion. If we do that, the force that we apply for pulling is reduced 10 times. And with long machines, what we do is that we can go faster without damaging the film. And the last box on the down right side, it would be related to the spout. So till here, we were talking about how to form the pouch. Here is how we insert the spout. The spout is the most complicated of all the things that we do in sustainable materials. Basically, we have a big piece of plastic that we need to heat up through the film. That process, it's very complicated when you have melting points between inner and outer layers, which are quite close to one another. So we have to come up with smart ideas to overcome that. What we have developed is the spout preheating. Basically, it's a blower. If you think about a hair dryer, okay, it's something similar. It blows hot air on the base of the spout. So when we insert the spout inside the pouch, instead of being at room temperature, is somewhere around 90 degrees. So the delta we need to apply with the sealing jaw, it's not from, let's say, 25 to 130, it's from 90 to 130. So with less time, we can overcome that temperature and we can seal properly. And then also this goes tight with a different way of applying the spout inside the pouch, which is doing by this servo-driven spout applicator. And last but not least, we have duplicated the sealing jaw so we can give temperature twice. So we can put a bit less temperature, but keep the same energy rate. We also want to mention about another technology that we have available, which is called the digital smart sealing. It's a technology that is developed by a company called Patron. This enhances a little bit the waste, for example, that we are creating when we start and stop the machine. Basically, this is a technology that can heat up and cool down very fast. So every time that we stop the machine, we can switch off the sealing jaws. This gives two advantages. One direct one, which is that energy consumption goes low because when the machine is stopped, you are not consuming any energy. And the second one is that you are not emitting as much temperature when you are stopped. So all the waste levels can be brought down. So we have another question for the audience. This time it will be answered by Geoffrey. So what market needs does this new solution, the 2-liter pouch, replies to? The first one is plastic reduction through lighter weight packaging, less packaging per liter of content. The second one, closing the loop on recyclability, packaging designed to be recyclable. The third one, improve sustainability for packaging, lower CO2 emissions compared to existing solutions. The fourth is to handle, use and dispose when empty. And last but not least, number 5, all the above. Please take a minute to answer, and Geoffrey will analyze all this data.
So thank you again. Monica, are we getting good feedback, good answers? Let's give another.
Yeah. People is voting. So we will wait few seconds more in order to have to give the opportunity to everybody. And okay, I think that everybody has voted. So here are the results.
Okay, very good. Well, thanks for voting. I think it's a good way to keep interacting, to have your insights, your input, feedback, and yes, definitely all of the above. We bring plastic reduction, which is something that resonates very well with consumers. Very easy to understand, just less packaging material. The pouch we've developed with Mespack is designed to be recycled and will be recycled in the countries where polyethylene stream exists, which are quite a few in Europe. It has lower CO2 emission compared to both the rigid and the current flexible pouches using mixed material. I'll come to that in a minute. And it can be easier to handle, and with a handle, as you see on the picture there, and also dispose of when empty, because it's thin, flat, and lightweight. So let's go into it. If I have the control. Here it is. So indeed, sorry, thanks. We're addressing the challenges we had identified at the beginning. So you've seen the detailed presentation from DM and on the Mespack technology to compensate the fact we're in monomaterial, harder to manage. The machine technology has been upgraded so that we can run on FFS line very nicely. The pouch is recycle ready. HTP, Cyclos HTP gave us a certificate, and we see we have 97% of polyethylene content in the 2-liter pouch. It is leak proof, again, a combination of the sealant and the machine technology, no leakages on the pouch. It has a low carbon footprint. I'll come to that in a minute. And mechanical performances are there. It is strong. We are currently doing an ISTA 6A test in Ghent at Amcor facility in Belgium. We've already done drop tests, and we could see that the pouches would resist 3 drops at a height of 1.8 meter, which is clearly above the standard use on the market, which is more around 1.2, 1.4 meter. So we see the pouch is strong and resists the drop. If I go, this one is a bit more of an eye chart, right? Lots of data, but it's important to be able to measure the impact, the change of what we're bringing to the market. It helps the brand claim with a data-backed claim, which is essential, right, to avoid any sort of green washing, and making sure your claim are trustful and have data to back them up. So what I'm doing here is I'm comparing the standard rigid white PET bottle, typically a 1-liter bottle, so you need 2 bottles to pack 2 liters of product, to what is on the market today, a mixed material in flexible packaging already. PET, polyamide, and PE is a very standard structure for the 2-liter and around capacity. And I'm comparing it to our new innovation, which is the Amprima Plus. Amprima is the registered name that Amcor is using for the monomaterial range. Here we're talking monomaterial in polyethylene. And you see immediately in the first column, to pack 2 liters of product, the monomaterial option takes 75% less plastic. So 75% less material needed to pack the same amount of product. The new pouch has been designed to be compliant to recycling guideline, same as the rigid PET, by the way. When we look at the greenhouse gas potential, CO2 emission, have normalized it to the PET bottle, and we see that we can avoid almost 2/3 of the CO2 emission by moving to the monomaterial polyethylene pouch. What I've assumed there is that both the flexible monomaterial pouch and the rigid PET at the end of life would be mechanically recycled. The mixed material, PET, PA, PE, is incinerated. And comparing the data using, again, our life cycle analysis tool, which is approved by the Carbon Trust, this is the data we could generate. Mechanical performance of the pack, fit for purpose, right? It doesn't explode when it drops. It stands tall on the shelves, and even when half empty. We talked about EPR fees. Same there. We can avoid 80% of the EPR fees by moving away from the rigid white PET to the monomaterial Amprima Plus pouch. And there, as I mentioned, EPR fees are becoming modulated in quite a few countries of Europe. I've taken the assumption that the pouch is sold in Belgium. Why Belgium? Not because it's my home country, because Belgium has started modulating EPR fees a bit before everyone. And what we're seeing on the market is that more and more countries are now following the same philosophy. France has now also introduced modulation of the EPR fees, and the philosophy is very much aligned with Belgium. So we take Belgium as, you know, kind of the to-be scenario at this point. And last column, both rigid and the monomaterial have the potential to include recycled content. So you can move from 2 bottle to 1 pouch, more sustainable, some savings, lightweighting, and we can generate the data to help you as a brand communicate around the impact that you're bringing to the market. And above and beyond, so we have lots of data. When we look at you know, why the consumer should care, we go back to what they care about in the first few slides. So sustainability, less plastic, lower CO2 emissions. So we've covered that. And above and beyond that, we can have features to facilitate the handling of the pouch by having a handle. Another interesting feature that comes out a lot when we ask consumers is that when the pouch is empty, it is super thin and doesn't take much room in the recycling bin. Unlike the rigid bottles, even when you squish them, they're still consume a lot of space in your recycling bin. So it's quite easy to dispose of. You can do 1-for-1 refills, easier for convenience, or 2-for-1, less trip to the store. You keep the half of the pouch at home and you don't need to go to the store every week or every other week. It will soon be, as I mentioned, e-commerce approved, so you can order the pouch online and have it delivered at home. And another interesting one, because we talked about sustainability for the consumer, what's important to them, but the other piece is also the cost. And there we have created a cost calculator at Amcor, trying to compare rigid to flexible through the full life cycle. And we believe that there is a way to put the flexible at a slightly lower price on shelves, which is positive for consumer, and that will facilitate adoption. On the brand side, less plastic, 80% less plastic, it resonates very well. Recyclable, contain PCR, less CO2, EPR and plastic tax can be reduced. You buy 80% less plastic, so the cost of the packaging is also lower. And it's still brand new, so in your market, it's still an opportunity to be the first one to have a 2-liter pouch. And being the first is always quite attractive when you're launching new products to the market. So to sum it up, we partnered, we have two industry leaders here, Mespack and Amcor. We've developed together a solution which brings sustainability with no compromise on performance, a solution that's tested by the two of us, a solution that we can implement quickly because we've done it together before. You've seen how Guillaume has detailed what he already knows about the machine, what needs to be modified, how to modify it, what needs to be taken into consideration, so we can implement quickly with Mespack Technical Services and Amcor Technical Services. This new solution widens up the range of product. So now we're in 2-liter, which is new and still not very common on the market. And you know, it allows plastic savings, which is also very easy to make it understand to consumer. So I think this sums it up. We have a very nice video to show you how we've done it with Guillaume coming up. But that's the end of the presentation. So video now to sum it up, then we'll open it up for Q&A. So thank you very much for listening in and participating today. Monica, back to you for the video and Q&A.
Today, I'm here to present you a groundbreaking milestone on the packaging industry. Basically, we want to present this 2-liter pouch made out of sustainable material that has come out of our fruitful collaboration with Amcor. This collaboration has brought us to cover all the milestones that we are going forward on the development of this type of packaging. So we started with half of liter, 1 liter, and then we are up to 2 liters. This is helping us to close the gap between all those applications that today could not be made with sustainable packaging. So once again, we are here to present this novelty. This covers completely our 6R strategy on how we foresee the future that it has to be. Refill system, it uses more or less 70% less of material of what you would get out of a normal bottle. So basically we think that's the way forward. We need to help the planet, and that's our goal.
Okay, so thank you both for your participation. The discussion about the 2-liter recyclable stand-up pouch has been really insightful, providing value insights for new sustainable solutions. With such an engaged audience, so let's move on the round of the questions and answers. Okay. So we see here the first question is, do you offer the pouch including post-consumer recycled content in the material?
Yes, thank you. I think I'll take that one. Thanks, Monica. Thank you for the question. Indeed, as I mentioned, PPWR is going to mandate that by 2030. Today, so far, our development is with virgin polyethylene. Now we have, as Amcor, access to high quality mechanically recycled polyethylene that we can use for non-food approved or non-food contact applications, so home care. And we have access to advanced recycled material, which we can use for food contact, personal care, culinary, juices application. So it is available, and happy to take that further offline and tailor a development there with specific needs. But it is available.
Okay, thank you. Another attendee asked, how can I assess if my Mespack machine will be able to run those 2-liter format in monomaterial?
Okay, I think I will take this one. Yeah, as I mentioned, we offer this service on our innovation center. We have 2 locations where we can do this trial on our, 3 locations where we can do this trial. The first one is here in our headquarters in Santa Perpetua, Barcelona, Spain. And then we have 2 more in the US, one in Dow, Pack Studios, Freeport, Texas, and the other one in Rochester, New York. Okay. Basically, our way of working is very easy. We put the film, we make it work if it works. And when we get that working, we assess the technologies needed. And the next step is either put that technologies on a new machine offer, or given a plate number of a machine, we see how we can retrofit that and deal with which depth we need to go inside the machine.
Okay, thank you, Guillem. More questions. In which countries is the 2-liter pouch recyclable in?
Yeah, good question. So the pouch is heavy PE. And when we look at the European map of countries where a flexible polyethylene pouch can be recycled, the list of country grows. Today we have Germany, Austria, Netherlands, Belgium, France, Italy are also very well developed. So we see the list of countries in Europe growing. If we look around the globe, North America has also a few states where polyethylene flexible can be recycled. And overall, we see more and more technology coming on stream in Europe, with flexible polyethylene being one of the key targets. So today we have a list of countries. I can share that offline as well from the Cyclos certificate, where polyethylene is recycled, and the list is growing quickly in Europe at this point.
Okay, thank you. Can we have the pouch without a spout for less plastic consumption?
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely. I think it would help you, right, Guillaume? No spout addition, much easier on the line.
Yeah, yeah. The machine will be much simpler. Spout is there for comfort, basically, because instead of having to cut it with scissors, and you could get an even cut, and then the flow of product going out would be a bit more uncontrolled. With the spout, you have it straight to the point with a flow that you know that you won't spill it. It's just for comfort, but definitely it can be done without.
Yeah, it's really for consumer use, right?
Yeah.
Clear. So there is another question.
How does the line booking process work?
Yeah, basically you can reach us out either through our webpage, or you can send an email to us requesting which trial you would like to do. Then we take that, we study that, we see which format you need, which is the requirement of your trial. We assess how many days you would need for the trial, and then we come back to you with a proposal, and also both economical and a dates proposal to see if that fits your schedule. And from that onwards, it's just getting the material on site, doing the trial. Definitely, our customers are very welcome to attend the trial with us, so they can see firsthand how everything is working. And at the end of it, if everything is good, we provide samples, we provide the report. If it would not work, we can still provide the report with our findings, and that would be it.
Okay, perfect, Guillem.
So how does Mespack adapt machines to customer criteria in an agile manner?
Okay, this is a very open question, I think, but I will give a couple of examples. It can be either with a new machine. Today, definitely we have standard machines, but we are not selling two machines that are the same. Each customer brings a level of customization, which can be deeper or not as deep. But with the new machine, basically, during the negotiation phase, we define exactly what it needs to have, and then we deliver in the time that we commit to, and that's handled that way. And we can make with our project managers, they make recurrent meetings with our customers to see if it goes. The other way is using this service of making the trials. This comes easier if it's related to sustainability, because we really know what we need to use.
Thank you, Guillem. Another question. Can you elaborate on the full structure of the laminate?
Yes. So what we have done right now for this specific 2-liter pouch is an oriented polyethylene adhesive laminated to a polyethylene sealant. We're quite thick, as you've seen in the presentation. So we have a 200 micron polyethylene sealant. It's reverse printed, so the print is protected by the oriented polyethylene. We can add a varnish to help with heat resistance or to embellish the product. And we have a lot of barrier solutions. So the first development was without barrier, but in similar application, we often use EVOH. We've used metallized barrier as well to protect the product inside. It's back to the step one in our development process with Mespack, is understanding the need of the product, the need of the application, what kind of mechanical resistance, what kind of chemical resistance, UV resistance we need to bring, but we have access to the whole panel of barrier and protective lacquer or UV resistant product as well.
Okay, thank you, Geoffrey. With sustainable materials, do you mean PCR materials or materials that can be recycled?
Sustainable is a wide term. So here, I think I've used sustainable mainly understating recyclable. Now, sustainability encompasses recyclability and PCR containing. So, depending on how you present it, here indeed, I mean, it is sustainable because it can be recycled. So it allows to close the loop, and it can be even more sustainable if we add PCR content into the product. But I think indeed through the presentation, I've connected sustainability with recyclability, knowing that PCR inclusion is an option that we can talk about.
Okay, thank you. How about integrating ultrasonic sealing system for the top seal after filling and reduce 99.99% of the sealing defaults on the top seam?
Yeah, ultrasonic sealing is a wonderful technology. We use it. We partner with Herman on this regards, and yeah, we like it very much, and it's a good feature to add on the machine.
Yeah, perfect. It's another option. So, do you have a PCR source for cosmetic packaging?
Yeah, we're part of Cospatox, so we're working with the cosmetic industry to define what is acceptable for the cosmetic industry in PCR. So that is still ongoing. So today we have, let's say, high-level 2 PCR options. One is mechanically recycled. We spend a lot of time to screen PCR product to make sure we have consistent quality. We don't have food approval for those mechanically recycled polyethylene, so we can use them for home care. We are refining them with Cospatox to understand to what level we can use them in cosmetics. Now in cosmetics today, we have access to advanced recycled polyethylene, which is food approved and that can be used in cosmetics. So we're advancing on the mechanically recycled for cosmetics with Cospatox. We have ready now advanced recycled product, which is food approved and compatible with cosmetics. And then for everything else, we have mechanical PCR, which is still of high quality for home care applications.
Okay, thank you both. We have more questions on the box, but unfortunately we don't have time to answer directly. But you can send us an email with your questions of flexibles@amcor.com if it's more related to Amcor, or marketing@mespack.com if it's more related to Mespack. But anyway, you can select the email that you prefer, and then if it's more related to another one, we are in contact with Amcor, so there is no issue for that. So thank you, Geoffrey. Thank you, Guillem. And thanks to all of you for trust and for being with us today. We invite you to contact Mespack as well as Amcor for any further questions that you think about. And looking forward to seeing you soon at our next Smart Talks. And have a great morning, great day, and best regards. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Monica. Thanks, Guillaume.
Thank you. Bye. Have a nice day.
Bye-bye.